We should do like one of those things like this show is brought to you by Windex. Clean your glass every day with Windex. Also by Procter & Gamble. Clean your clothes, do your dishes every day. Procter & Gamble. Like we should have like sponsors and shit like to begin the show.
Yeah, we should do that even if we're not actually sponsored by them.
Yeah, exactly.
just to do it, yeah. Just to make it sound like we're official. I thought you were going to say brought to you by the letter A or something like that. Like,
ooh,
like on Sesame Street.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by the letter A. Enjoy your letter A. I don't know. Some shit.
A stands for apple. As an animal, it stands for alligator. Those are two words that start with the letter A.
And this has been your moment of something.
Letter bringing.
Yeah.
The letter A is so generous. Oh my goodness. I was thinking about that. We could do some fake commercials, but
I love doing
make them
commercials.
sound like they're real.
Commercial? That was
we could do it.
Yeah. When we had the Dynavap thing, I had Huel do them, but even when I had to jump in, that was fun. But like on Triple T, when I used to do the stupid doghouse commercials, oh god damn. I love that. Mm-hmm. That was so much fun.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Hey, before we move on to Dick of the Week, just to let you know, this segment is sponsored by Doghouse Systems. Want to be a dick? Want to show it off and edit it in style? Get yourself a gaming computer from Doghouse Systems.
Yeah. You never got one of those. Didn't they have a Triple T one?
Yeah, they did. Those are $5,000 computers. Are you kidding me?
I know. They're expensive.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, okay, so someone has built I've been building computers since the 90s. Like I've gone through dozens and dozens of computers that I've built for myself. And there's no way that those computers are worth $5,000 at all. Like there's ways you can do stuff that like the case is really unique, but the actual performance and then the case looks not that cool. It's not even worth it at all.
We got a commission on selling those goddamn computers.
Oh yeah?
And yeah. I don't remember exactly what the percentage was. But for that price of a computer, all right, when Jules had her website redone, we had $500 in the show's bank account that she used on the fucking website. Like the whole thing just went to the website. But all that money came from Doghouse Systems. And actually maybe some of it was from t-shirts as well. But yeah.
Well, that's nice. I mean, that paid off for you then. I mean, at least you didn't have to like dip in your personal funds for it.
Motherfucker, I never got a thank you from Doghouse Systems from doing the best goddamn commercial they had. Yeah, you had a professional Scott Johnson Doghouse. Hey, this episode brought to you by Doghouse. Get yourself a Doghouse computer. Or there was me. It's like, hey, did you want a game? Do you want to be like your friends? Well, go ahead. Get yourself a Doghouse System and you'll be cool like everybody else. Yeah, that's some whatever bullshit I did. All right.
Well, cause you'd actually try and sell it, not just be like reading some predetermined, like, here's what they say for everything. Here's their slogan. Hey, well, you can get it with the logo. Here's the slogan. It's cost whatever. Go to the website and then move on. Yeah. It's like you'd actually try and sell it, which is way more effective.
Ray, since you're going to be home and not doing anything, or Randy, while you're working on our best ofs, go back into the Triple T library, pull some of my commercials out, especially in the later episodes. All right, let's get going. You ready?
Yes, let's do this.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 68 of The Rich Dickman Show, the podcast that is slightly better than mediocre. I am your very mediocre host, Rem. I forgot to adjust my sound level on this music before we even started the show. As a professional, I got it all done right before I had to say, hey everybody, but we made it. Goddamn professional. Anyways, I'm Rem. I'm here with Ray. Ray is my buddy. He just had a baby. We're going to talk about that. And we could guess, hey Ray, what's up?
What's going on? I meant to say that I was born ready. That's how we should have made that. That would have been way more punny.
You want to try it again?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. Let's start all over. The whole show all over again.
Well, I can do.
I was born ready.
Yeah. Here's my buddy. Go. It's Ray. Ray, what's up?
Oh.
God damn it, you're not even born.
I meant before the intro.
Oh.
See, this is why this podcast is slightly better than mediocre.
Jesus. All right. Hey, everybody, what's going on tonight? Thank you so much for listening. It is episode 68. It is one away from the sexiest episode. However, I decided it would be a good time to bring our sexiest guest back on. So coming later tonight, later this evening, later in this episode, we will have Eros and Isis from the Priory Society. I said it right. They will be back on joining us, and we talking. We got some questions. We talking about swinging a little bit more because that was fun and I enjoyed it. So for episode 69, Ray, you got to come up with something sexy, baby.
I'll bring myself.
Oh, God damn it.
There we go.
He is a sexy man, ladies and gentlemen. He's got glasses, but they're like rectangles, and he's got some facial hair, and he's got some very well kept hair, unlike me. And he's got a very rectangular, angular face with a nice chin. So, if you're
only
wondering,
from the right angle,
we're going to be talking about swinging tonight. So you're going to be all over this. God damn, Ray.
Well, maybe we'll do some swinging tonight.
All right. That sounds awesome. All right, Ray, let's, what's going on with you, man? You have a bunch of exciting news, I imagine.
It's been pretty laid back, boring week. I don't know. What have you been up to? So my week started on Monday, since my kids, it's the last week, a full week before no school. And they technically, like last week, they did choreo camp. So they had the choreographers from out of town come in and train, do over the routine and all that stuff. So they had this week off. So there was like this voluntary Monday practice. So my kids go to that. First one, Stella goes, finishes. I go and hang out with them because, I'm like, hey, I can actually spend some time with them. And then Kaylee's out there and she comes walking off the mats and she's like, hey, my thumb hurts. And she's like, bent it inward. And I'm thinking, it can't be that bad, right? I mean, she was doing some double back handspring, triple Zalcow or whatever the heck it's called.
Ain't no big deal. Everybody does that shit.
Yeah, whatever it's called. It's a little 9-year-old, going all crazy. So I'm like, well, first of all, she only weighs like 55 pounds. Second of all, Jesus, fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon is like coming up. I had like a couple sips and it's like, what do they make these out of? Anyway. So she like hurts her thumb, right? And at first I'm like, okay, it's not a big deal. You probably just kind of sprained it a little bit or something like that. So about 10 minutes later, I look at it and it's all swollen. So we're like, all right, we're going to urgent care. So we go to urgent care, get out of there, probably like 8:00, eat some dinner, get home around 9. She ended up, basically she fractured her thumb. So she has this big splint and everything on there. So that was an eventful Monday night until, about 1:00 in the morning when my wife woke me up and was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm fine. How are you doing? She's like, hey, I think we need to go to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right, so it's time. Yeah. So basically got all ready to go. I had my go bag ready and all that stuff. Threw it all in the car, drove over to the hospital. And at 4:44 in the morning, had a little, Oliver Samuel was welcome to the world. So that was fun. But
this is the first time you've told me the name. It's Oliver Samuel.
Yeah. It took us like the whole time until like a couple hours before we left. A couple hours before we left until we actually figured out his middle name.
Walker Theodore didn't fly then, huh?
Yeah. So that's my last name starts with an F, and I was really hoping to get Walker Theodore in there, but I was getting a lot of resistance on that one. A lot. And I was ready to pull out all the stops to make that happen. But there was a lot of people that didn't like that. I thought it was pretty fun and clever, but, and it would have made me really happy. Like really happy, but so here's the thing. I think Walker Theodore is actually a good name. And then you get the coincidence of the initials, which is half the fun as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, on that front, baby's healthy. Wife's fine. They're just recovering. So they're doing a lot of napping and obviously feeding of the baby, but they're pretty good. Oliver's actually pretty chill. Like, he doesn't really cry that much. It's pretty nice.
Knock on your
He's
desk.
a strong little bugger.
Get some wood and knock on it. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations,
my mahogany
Ray.
desk.
I've been pestering you for the last week if you had a baby yet, trying to plan my recording this week around you. So, thank you for making sure that baby came out early.
Thank Oliver for the timing so that we're still able to record same time as normal. Like, he's a very, very considerate person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you thank him. I would have done it without you.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Hey, you want me to bring him on the podcast real quick so we can have him say something?
I thought he was sleeping. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, here's what'll happen is he'll bring the baby on, and then we're gonna have the swingers on after, and it's gonna be a really, really weird podcast. Let's not
really
do that.
Awkward. Yes.
Yeah, let's just bring the Priory Society.
I mean, you got to start him young, right?
Oh, geez, Ray,
get him educated.
Ray, they killed Jeffrey Epstein for that. Stop it.
Oh man, I thought he killed himself.
We all know that's not true.
We got to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, let's stop it right there. Okay, so here's a couple of things. So Ray had a baby. Congratulations, Ray. I'm so happy for you, and I'm happy for your wife and your daughters and your new son. You have a son now. Name him after me. I don't know how the thing goes. Okay. But you can check us out, richdickman.com. Get all your Rich Dickman needs at Rich Dickman Show on Twitter. Call the Dickman line. Should you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, or voicemails for us? 860-316-4776. That did not make sense because it is a voicemail line. Why would you? Anyways, you can go to Amazon.com, search Rich Dickman, get yourself an El Abogado t-shirt and eat the rich t-shirt because it's political season. The candidates are out doing stuff. You should be protesting or cheering them on or whatever it is you want to do. Here's a secret. All the politicians are terrible, but get your Eat the Rich t-shirt and show them what you think. Dinner's ready. Okay. And there's also our slightly better than mediocre t-shirt as well. Finally, SummerSlam has come and gone, Ray. I have a new wrestling article up on WWEpodcast.com. That's WWEpodcast.com. Go to the opinions, not the our opinions, the opinions section. Click on my name or any article with my name, Rem Dickman, and go ahead and read them. Let me know what you think because I have fun writing those and they're getting a bunch of views and I really appreciate that. So thank you. All right. Ray, I don't have much to talk about this week because I've been sitting here for the last hour and a half overthinking our episode tonight. So I apologize in advance if I'm not on my game because the brain is a funny thing, my friend. It's a funny, fickle fucking thing. But we're going to do the best we can. I want you to know, Ray, that I am back at my home office now and I am very happy, because I'm very bored. Well, I'm not necessarily happy that I'm bored. But I'm very bored, which means I can think a lot more about things to do with the podcast. And boy, do I have ideas beyond the podcast. I just need, you know what I need, Ray? And this is the hardest part of it, is I need two people precisely to say yes to what I want to do. And one of them is basically at a yes. I just need to sit down with the other, the Italian stallion, and get him on board. And much like you, he just had a baby in July. So like, he's like, oh, I don't have any time. Well, no, come on. You got to make time for me. I am the most
excuses.
Person.
I just had a baby like a couple hours ago and I'm here.
I know.
Suck it up.
Yeah. So you need to move out to where I am and we can spend a lot of time in New York City together. Cause you're dedicated. Yes. Yeah. You know, and to be perfectly honest, I think this is going to reflect well on you, when your performance review comes up.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know I got one, but I'm excited for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I didn't know that you got one either till just now. So it's going to be great. We should do that on the air. I should get a hold of Mr. Dickman. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's do this one real quick because we have a few minutes here for Eros and Isis come in. But you know, let's, we need a new thing for this, Ray. Now that you have time. Nope. That's the wrong one, but we'll use it anyways. Okay. So you love your butt.
Yep. I love the Target drive up. I don't know if you've used that before. I love the Target drive up, but it doesn't allow me the opportunity to go and fuck around for a little while in the store and just get some alone time, just looking at stuff. Basically what happens is my wife's like, she loves it now and it's great. You just go on the app, select what you want. You literally park, hit the thing that says I'm here and they bring it out to you. No extra charge. Like it saves you a lot of time.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is the fact that I can't go in and just lounge around, mingle, just explore, just go look at random things in Target or otherwise. It's like, if I set that up, my wife's expecting me home in like 15 minutes, like from the time that I leave till the time, port to port, 15 minutes, or else it's like, what were you doing? And so it's nice to be able to, go in and take your time, go to some other sections. Well, they just rearranged our Target, so it's kind of fun to just walk around and see what they've added.
Ray, you're missing the big problem here, okay? And we don't have Target Drive Up, but we have the thing where you can order ahead and everything's ready at the service counter and you can leave. But I made this observation to Chris OC, and he explained it to me, and now I understand why. Okay, you go to Walmart, right? You go to your Walmart or any other shitty place, and you just see like the lowest of lows. I mean, you're in there, right? I'm in there, so it's not all the lowest lows, but that's what you see when you're there, right? It's like it's not the greatest clientele of people.
Walmart's bad, dude.
Okay.
It's so bad.
And you come out, sometimes you're depressed, right? You're just like, God damn, this is what we are now. All right. But whatever. But you go to Target, right? And Target, I don't know, it must be the red in the building. It's a lot more, open and friendlier and nicer. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now the people who go to Target, they are a little different. They seem to be a little more upper crust, upper class. That's kind of the wrong word, but they're not the weirdos and freaks you see at Walmart. And Ray, the reason you need to go to Target and wander around for 25, 30 minutes is because the women who shop at Target are way better looking than the women who shop at Walmart.
Yeah, there's only like 10 good looking women in this town.
Well, listen, 5 is better than none.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but that's what
I agree
noticed.
I agree with where you're going with that. Yeah.
Is that you can do some real sightseeing, and I know that sounds creepy, everybody, and I apologize, but listen, it's the truth. Okay. If we like to look at attractive people, men or women, if they're attractive, we tend to look at them, and it's a fun thing to do, and not being creepy.
Here's
just
the difference.
Admiring. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the difference between Target and Walmart. In Target, it's the women that wear the yoga pants because they go to the gym.
Yes.
In Walmart, it's the women who wear the yoga pants that have never been to the gym.
Boom. You got it. That's perfect. No,
that's totally, you know what I mean? Like you walk around Walmart and you're like, can I put blinders on? Or like, it's bad. It looks like a bunch of homeless people wandering around.
Yeah.
It's not.
And again, this isn't all people who shop at Walmart or Target. Okay. We're just taking a very, specific type that we see all the time and stereotyping based off of it. It's not a big deal. This is, it's just a stereotyping shoppers.
Mm-hmm. And stereotyping is awesome.
Yeah. It's the best, we have stereotypes for a reason. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say it,
Yeah.
because we've seen that behavior in different types of personages.
Yeah.
This is a great way to get you to the audience who might be listening because the Priory Society is here. This is a great way to get them hooked in. So this is, we're doing a great job here, Ray. All right.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. You know
Cashed
what?
in on that one.
Let's stop the nonsense. Let's go ahead. I'm going to open up the door. I'm going to let Eros Nisus in. We're going to settle into my studio and we're going to have a nice little conversation. What do you think? Good job. Good idea.
That sounds good. Cue the sound effects.
Cue the sound effects. I will put them in post.
What's going on? Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you so much for making time for us tonight.
Oh, you guys are great. Look how professional you guys are, man.
I got a backdrop and everything.
Look how great it looks, man.
Just that guy.
One on there.
Except he has a big ass microphone covering his face. Look who's talking. Look at this one covering my face.
I know. You were just talking about changing the mount.
Yeah.
The mic mount. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. They're not really staring at us anyway.
No.
We have another one of these that has a little stand where it doesn't have the boom, but who cares, man? This is fine.
His background's changing. That's not distracting at all.
Is it going to loop constantly?
No, I can manually change. I can make it whatever I want. I was going to try and get like a wrestling ring in the background for Rem.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
Do
big
something
wrestling
festive.
guy. Yeah. I can just download whatever and just change it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hey, I realized when we were talking last time that, I waved a gun and I'm like, oh, this is my gun. Actually, that was my wife's gun.
Yeah.
So we now we have both here. Here, go ahead and show them that. That way, we're equal. Yeah. Okay. So that his and her. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. We're going off of that camera. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much. God damn it. All right, Ray, here we are. Eros Nisus from the Priory Society are here with us once again. We got a bunch of questions and we're already talking, so I figured I'd just go ahead and start us out on this. Forgive my words, you two. I have my sexy drink ready to go. It's pink. It's got vodka in it and cranberry juice. And Ray has named it what'd you name it, Ray?
The vodka crant.
Yeah, because I like to rant about things. So anyways,
I thought it was
I thought it was something else.
The lady drink.
Rem's lady drink.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's my lady drink. It really is. It's the same drink.
It's
a lady drink.
It's like
we tried to give it a cool name.
Cosmo.
Yeah, it's the ones it's the drink that gets the ladies to comply. with 3 fingers of vodka.
Right.
Nice.
Juices to mask the fact that it's loaded with booze.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you drink it.
No. Thank God you guys are here for that. Ray, get your shit together, man. All right. So Eros and Isis from the Priory Society are here, and we have a lot of questions from our listeners and some voicemails as well. And I wanted to get you guys back on because you're always you're on Twitter and you're out there with a lifestyle and all the fun things you do. And I'm seeing pictures, I'm seeing videos of Isis walking through Las Vegas, and I'm thinking, God damn, they're probably having the time of their lives and I need to know about it. So, so I have a whole bunch of things in my head aside from the questions that we have from our listeners. Mainly, well, I want to talk about steering wheel couples because I find that interesting. And that was your last episode. It's about the steering wheel couples. And the first time I'd ever heard that term was from Eros. And I said, what the hell? What are you talking about? And he's like, well, in your steering wheel, you got one hand on a 10 and one hand at the 2. And that's kind of the couple. One's a 10, one's a 2. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Right. So our last podcast that we released in the last couple of days, it was about steering wheel couples and the fact that when you're in the lifestyle, so many couples that you meet are a little bit mismatched. Now, that means typically it's based on looks, and it can also be because of somebody's attitude or the effort that they put in when they're getting ready to go out.
Or in life, like if maybe they don't work out at all and the wife does.
Exactly.
She's hot, he's not.
Yeah. So the mismatch comes when one person out of the couple is way hotter than the other one. And it's usually the wife that is super attractive and the husband that is, like less than desirable. So it makes it really hard to find a 4-way connection and actually move forward on a play date when you're going out on, meet and greets and drink dates and stuff with other couples. So steering wheel couples, because you got to keep your hands on the 10 and 2. Yeah,
and you have to decide whether you're going to play with them or not, because in the lifestyle, as in real life, you decide whether you're going to take one for the team. Is this person's flaws worth the momentary, that moment of ecstasy to deal with the deficit, the things that they, maybe they don't work on themselves. Maybe they just don't work out, or maybe they don't apply as much deodorant as their body needs. Or, it's just a number of factors,
maybe they're
right?
living in an alternate reality.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A big question we get from our listeners, many of them are brand new and they are fantasizing about experimenting, maybe opening up their marriage, maybe playing a little bit, inviting a third person into their bed. Well, we get the question, do we take one for the team? Because this couple is mismatched. And what we find, guys, is that these couples are they're looking for perfection.
Yeah.
So our next episode is going to be about the 4-way connection. And then we're going to talk about how we have a 10% success rate. Yeah. We only feel like getting naked 10% of the time. Largely because of steering wheel couples and other factors, and depends on people's criteria. And I saw some of your questions that you messaged us, and I wanted to see. He didn't show me all the questions, Sweetie. Only like 4 questions. Okay, and I showed those to you. Yeah, but they have some good ones, and we're going to tie this in. We're going to help their listeners. If their listeners are curious, if their listeners want to open up their marriage, or maybe they just have questions about the swinging lifestyle. How does it work? Right. What is it that I need to embark on that journey? How do I convince my wife? Or, what's it like to go to these clubs? So we're ready here for you guys. And we're really excited to join you once again.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Well, can I ask a follow-up to that?
Of course.
Hold on, Ray. Just for full disclosure, all those questions came from Ray because he's good. He's go ahead, buddy.
He's the lead pervert on the show.
He's like 40 days. Isn't a waiting period after a birth before you can use the the toddler tunnel once again?
Use the facilities.
Well, and part of that is more because of what the man sees coming out and all that. It's more of a you got to jump that mental hurdle before you can get back in there. It's for sure. You see some things that you don't necessarily want to see. But so the steering wheel couples. What I was thinking was, to me, it is a mental hurdle, because if it's someone that I'm not attracted to, and not that I've been in this situation, like the exact same situation you guys have been with, but if it's someone of the opposite sex or that I'm not attracted to, it doesn't mean Like, I feel like I'm not going to put in the effort. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to go the distance and please them. And so you're not reciprocating enough so that, the as a foursome, right, you would want to, all be all in, right? So if I was looking at the person going, I'm not really digging this, I might give a subpar performance. So I don't know, do you guys have that kind of an issue and you could work through it?
Yeah, that's true. If the couple that you're getting naked with looks like someone who was featured on people of Walmart.com.
Oh, we're just talking about Walmart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Walmart is the best place if you want to get a good value and lower your consciousness at the same time.
And lose some IQ points. Yeah.
It's fun.
I love it.
It's a fun people watching spot. But what happens is that you definitely you may have issues, especially if you rely on the other person to show genuine interest. And a lot of guys do. A lot of guys cannot perform. And what's the number, sweetie, percentage wise? How many of the dudes have a hard time maintaining an erection or even getting one?
Yeah, it's a little over half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With ISIS?
With anybody.
Yes, with me.
And my lady has experienced that. And it turns out that these gentlemen have experienced the same thing with other people.
Yeah.
So it's an issue. So you can just imagine if you're with someone who is not, ideal for you, then of course it's going to be an issue. The other thing, aside from stage fright and being awestruck as well, like, oh my goodness, I have a chance with this wonderful woman. This thing better work. Please don't fail me now. There's a rap song that says that. Please don't fail me now.
I love that song.
Well, if you guys were my steering wheel, I'd be going left all the time because I think you both tens. So, all right.
You'd swing both ways.
Nice. Yes. He didn't say that.
No? Okay.
I didn't say that, but
just a nice compliment.
You got to do. All right. So we got a bunch of questions. We have some voicemails. I might switch between the two, and I do apologize in advance because some of our audience likes to have fun. And so if you're grossed out by anything, or you just get like really upset at the horribleness of the question, I apologize, and you can just tell me to go to fuck off, and I'll edit the whole thing out. I got to say to you too, I've been overthinking this whole podcast all day, and I hope it turns out all right. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we have a few questions here that I got, obviously, and this one is from our wait a second here, our very own Hot Drummer News Babe. So I'm going to read it. Here's one. Although I can't remember what you covered last time, but are there any reliable red flags that indicate whether a potential partner is a creep, crazy, or otherwise unsuitable? Unsuitable here meaning peeps not venturing into the lifestyle in the spirit of safe exploration.
Yeah, there are certainly many red flags. Would you like to start with one, Sudi?
Sure. One of them, one major red flag if somebody's not in the lifestyle for the right reasons is if they show up for a date and they're just, you feel like they're dragging their partner along. Like the partner is silent, they're uninterested, they're distant, they don't know who they're meeting. Like we've shown up to dates before and the woman just looks right past us and we're walking up smiling saying, oh, there they are. Yeah,
because we recognize them from their photos.
Exactly.
And she doesn't recognize us.
She has no idea who we are.
Because she hasn't been told. She just said, the husband just said, put on that cute dress, honey. We're going to meet a couple. And then at the table, the woman's looking at our profile. Oh, so this is you guys. Yeah. This is what you're into. Mm-hmm. So I think we might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because the red flags start at the screening level when we're screening people online.
That's right.
And so when we start asking them questions and we'll throw things out like, hey, how long have you been doing this? Whose idea was it? Yeah. And, what are some of your favorite play date ideas? Do you like to get a room? Do you like to host at home? Do you like to meet at a club? And then we start finding out that we like to incorporate everyone in the chat. So we'll say something like, hey, let's establish either a messaging chat on Kik or, by regular text. And we want to get the wife on there and the husband, and then we'll both jump on. Right. Now, the big red flag is, oh, my wife, she's just ultra busy and she doesn't have time to chat. Okay. Well, you don't have to chat. You can follow the chat and catch up in the evening, but at least you're in the loop. Yeah. So one of the big red flags is when a man is passing himself off as a couple when he's just a single dude and he just wants to hey, the wife got ill and I thought we could just all play. Brought my bag of dildos.
Right.
Thought we could still all have fun, all three of us.
Exactly.
My wife is out of commission. She doesn't feel well.
Somehow she's always on a work trip or she's never available. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
so that's a huge red flag.
That's a biggie. In person, if they can't form, well-formed sentences, or if they just refuse to smile because they want to, they don't want to show that they, have no teeth, or maybe if they just seem socially inadequate, if they can't take jokes. Some people show up and they're a little bit altered, maybe on drugs.
Yeah.
And that's not fun either. So there are certain steps. So we'll qualify people, and this is where we come up with the 10% success rate of nakedness, is that we qualify a bunch of people, then we'll only meet, let's just say we qualify 100. We'll meet 10 in person. Out of those 10 that we meet for drinks, it might end up being one or two couples that we will end up in a private space, taking off our fruit of the looms.
Yeah.
And it's tough because our criteria is high. And people assume that swingers, they're just fucking the bushes.
They go out and they play all the time. They play anywhere. They play with anyone that walks by, but that's not.
It's not like that at all.
It works. Yeah.
No,
we days, anyways.
No, we really pare it way down.
So you mentioned something a few minutes ago about the man showing up for a threesome. Now, and I know in that situation, no, but are there situations with the two of you where you wind up in a threesome instead of a foursome, or is it strictly couple and couple all the time?
Well, we'll meet with couples because that's our favorite. And as far as a threesome, sometimes it just ends up with my husband and the wife actually getting busy because the guy that I'm with can't get hard and can't get an erection or maintain an erection. So
my wife will join me.
Yeah.
And we'll have a threesome while the other man stands by and has a drink. And there's nothing wrong with it. Because, hey, there are several couples who won't admit to it, but by default, their actions will dictate that type of activity. So the man will end up sitting out and enjoy a nice drink. And that man that loves to watch his wife in action would be considered more of a stag in a stag vixen couple where his wife is the goddess and he loves to watch her perform and he doesn't really need to be involved. So he's considered a stag. Now he's not a cuckold because he doesn't want to be humiliated, but a stag because he's proud of it. Yeah. So that the cuck scenario would be different. But aside from that, since we're talking about stag, cuckold, might as well mention one more, which is a hot wife couple, where the man is just proud to share her and he'd like to jump in from time to time and do the Eiffel Tower move where he's behind her and the guys are high-fiving in the middle or whatever you want to call that.
Rem's very familiar with that one.
Well, only because my last co-host taught me all about it. Okay, Ray?
Yes. Oh.
Jesus.
Got it. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. All right. So our next question is, have you ever had to bounce someone from your home turf or your sanctuary? Have you ever had to throw anybody out?
Sweetie, do you remember?
Did we kick someone out? Yes.
We've kicked people out.
We have.
Which one are you thinking about? You go ahead and tell them and then
I'm thinking about the couple that we met one time where the wife had ended up having too much to drink.
What city?
This was in
Calabasas.
Calabasas.
The one that she threw up all her hot dog in the bathroom?
Yeah, she ended up going to the bathroom and stayed in the bathroom, and we found her on the floor. She was passed out with vomit all over herself.
That was a scenario where the man still wanted to continue with my wife.
Yes.
Even though his wife was in the bathroom passed out. That was one. The other time was in Vegas at the Bellagio, and fast forward, that same couple, they're now divorced. But back then, we knew they had issues.
Yes.
We knew they had issues because they weren't communicating. The short blondie with the short hair.
Right.
They were arguing with each other when we met them at the bar. Now, we did not invite them directly to the hotel room. We met them at the lobby bar, Petrosian bar in front of the registration desk at Bellagio. They said they were going to bring drinks. They brought nothing.
Right.
So they totally lied, misrepresented themselves. Their pictures were extremely photoshopped. So their age really was visible in person.
Absolutely.
They had no wrinkles in their photos.
Yeah.
The little beautiful laugh lines and crow's feet. That stuff is great.
Yeah.
And they had none of that in their photos, but in person, I was like, oh, these guys, they're not 40, they're 68, maybe 71. Oh yeah.
Big difference.
Now the girl was a little haughty, right? So she was a small, petite woman, but she was aged, and she aged well, but you know, they weren't what we thought they were, and she was wearing a butt plug the whole time. And then the big turnoff, right before we kicked them the fuck out. Yeah, the big turnoff was, you know, so you can imagine Vegas. We have a beautiful suite.
Oh yeah.
And we ended up with this couple. I ended up standing with her in right in the window, overlooking the fountains of Bellagio.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a wonderful moment. You know, maybe get her doggy style at the window or something, right? Oh. So she says to me, "You're doing just fine, honey. Just go with it," in like a smoker's voice.
Yes.
She was smoking like back to back.
Right.
And she was like, "Can you do the voice?" "Yeah, you're doing
just
great,
like that,
honey.
A little faster.
You're fine."
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, this isn't the first time I've had sex. Okay. They knew we were, but because you're new into the swinging lifestyle, doesn't mean that it's the first time you're having sex. Now I felt like this was an older courtesan, like trying to coach me into my first time.
This is where you put your penis.
This is where you put it. And then after a while, she got this big tub of lube, and
it was huge.
Her body wasn't working like a hottie young chick, cheerleader type, right? She was totally dry, and because it was dry, it was a little bit foul smelling. Now, look, guys, I love a good fish taco. All right, I'm from Mexico. Ensenada tacos.
Yeah.
But
Ensenada, dude.
If the vagina smells like Uncle Leroy's Fish House during the lobster early bird special for dinner at 4 p.m.
Yes.
I'm not with it, man.
No.
So they started arguing. She went to the bathroom. She was getting dry. She was getting frustrated. She was wearing a butt plug. I wanted to caress her. She told me not to touch it. It got frustrating. They started drinking a lot of our bar.
Oh yeah.
And after a while, my lady had a quote unquote tummy ache, and she needed to go find some medicine at the CVS across the street. And we used that as an excuse to all leave the room. And then in the lobby floor, in the casino floor, we ended up going our separate ways.
Yeah.
They wanted to come back up, but that was no good, man.
Yeah, we ended it.
You misrepresent yourself. It's not going to end well.
Do you guys have like I mean, it's not a safe word, but like an exit safe word? Is something like a signal for that kind of a situation?
We do, sweetie.
Oh yeah.
It's called non-sexy talk.
Definitely. So if we're not feeling a couple, we'll start to bring up, you know, politics or Bitcoin or mortgage rates and
Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
The the gold standard and the Bretton Woods agreement that we reneged on, and like we'll start bringing up things that have to do with commercial real estate, global banking.
Exactly.
And so my lady knows if I bring up these themes, these topics, and she knows to pay closer attention because we're finding a pivot. We're finding a way out of this situation.
Right.
And this is the best way because, guys, we used to have like squeezes of the legs and a pinch. Now, in a playroom, when you're playing, we have a technique that we learned in martial arts class, and you pinch the, where your armpit is, the fatty part of the inside of your arm, or the inside of the leg, inside crotch. You pinch and turn.
Oh yeah, it hurts like hell.
That's one of the most sensitive spots.
Exactly.
So if we're in a play scenario and she pinches me and holds it, that means to each other, reset. Where's my wife? I need to give my wife a kiss. We get close. We talk. We're going to refill our drink, or we're going to get the hell out. But the pinch is the reset because everything else wasn't working. Remember, we tried a certain word. We tried a little squeeze of the knee,
or caressing my face, touching my ear, and then sometimes I wouldn't know, and then he'd like pinch my toe really hard. I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
It started with the toe, and then because they're not as sensitive as the inside of the arm or the inside of the thigh, we moved to the to the under of the arm.
Yeah. So now we have those like physical signals if we need to get out of there, and then of course the non-sexy talk if we're still just in the conversation and we're like my husband said, making that shift to exit the situation and do it politely. We'll be polite about it.
Yeah, hey, it's great talking with you guys. We'll catch you on the next loop around. We're going to walk around, and as we're talking, we're walking.
We move.
There's no time for them to say, but why, but where, because by that time we're a few steps away.
Yeah, I imagine it takes somebody with a lot of, maybe not a lot, but with plenty of experience to say no. That's got to be super uncomfortable. You're all together. You know what you're there for. Then, your mind's changed. You don't want to do it anymore. And then you got to say no. But you want to be polite about it, but you also want to get out of there, but you don't want to be a jerk. And maybe next time. Yeah, it's a whole lot of things going on there. So
yeah, we have a lot of listeners that message us, and they're new to the lifestyle. They have a hard time with transitions, how you move from the conversation to playtime, but they also have a hard time letting people down. They ask us, how do we tell someone we're not interested without looking like an asshole? Or if they meet someone and they've finished dinner and now it's the end of dinner, they might feel obligated to play with them and grab a hotel room or something because, well, they've spent this much time with them and they just don't feel comfortable saying no because they want to be polite. And it is a small world, but there are ways to say no and tell somebody, you're cool, we can be friends, but I'm not interested in you that way.
Yeah, rejecting people is as simple as, guys, you guys are great. I just want to let you know tonight is no playing is an option. My wife is on Shark Week.
Yeah,
she's down for maintenance. She's down for maintenance. I just want to let you know tonight is there's no way we can play.
Yeah,
and that's a good way to say we're not doing anything with you, but it's not because you're not our ideal partner. You haven't filled out all of our checklist of needs and wants. Mm-hmm. It's just we're off the market. So it's not even about them or why. Mm-hmm. It's just the question never comes up. So that we like to use that one.
Yeah, I was at Taco Bell earlier today, and it's not a good night. So I got you. All right.
That $6 fill up. I really did it.
Yeah.
And, as I get closer to 40, I'm starting not to trust my farts. Probably not smart to play.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
A little self-deprecation. Yeah.
And not from the
vagina. Awesome. Well, I got another question for you guys, which I don't know who it came from. But anyway, it says, any advice for curious but body conscious folks? As in, they like the idea of swinging, but worry about being rejected based on looks or bod. Or can the lifestyle be liberating for less than confident people?
Oh my God. So your body type, your weight, it should be the least of your concerns because the lifestyle is full of all kinds of couples. I mean, all kinds of color, people of different color, people of different body shapes, body types. And there are big, beautiful women. There are super skinny women. There are big guys. Babe, you've seen that too. There are all kinds of people.
I think what I would tell this person immediately would be the following. If you're going to join the lifestyle, you have to be prepared to accept the type of people who you would attract when you were single. Mm-hmm. Meaning, just because you join the swingers lifestyle does not mean that you're instantly going to attract the beautiful cheerleader, petite chick, and, the model type that is on, runway shows and stuff.
Yeah.
If you are someone who neglected your body for the past 10 years.
Right.
Okay. So who did you attract as a single person? You're going to attract the same people as a couple.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be just as difficult because now you have 4 thought patterns instead of just 2. Mm-hmm. 4 people with their own individual criteria and checklists of what they want and need and would love to experience. And I think a lot of people mindfuck themselves because they believe that they know what other people find attractive.
Right.
And you never know what people are going to find attractive. So the best you can do is work on your body as best as possible. We tell people get sweaty every day for at least 40 minutes, talk to your doctor. But if body image is an issue, then be grateful that you're not currently in the lifestyle because you can now work out until that very day that you are in the lifestyle and then hit it really hard once you start going on dates.
Oh, yeah.
And your body will transform. And not only will your confidence go through the roof, but your body does not have to be in peak performance, does not have to be perfect and sculpted. There are just, like my lady was saying, there are all types.
Yep.
And, the people of Walmart at that website, those people are in the lifestyle. But guess what? I said earlier about you attract, who you attracted as a single person.
Yeah.
Those people tend to go to certain clubs. And then the big, the beautiful people, the model types, they go to different clubs.
Yeah.
And that's why the lifestyle attracts places that have house parties for $40 on a Saturday night. Mm-hmm. And then there's private, exclusive, masked soirees for $1,500 a couple.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night. And you're going to find different types of people at those events.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. So I would caution the person that sent this question and just have them realize that confidence is very sexy, and people in the lifestyle most often will respond to someone's attitude and their energy and their confidence more so than their looks. I mean, everybody's got a physical aesthetic that they're attracted to initially, but a lot of people in the lifestyle don't necessarily hold, your body type, or if you have a six pack or a certain hair color or haircut as their high value.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
How big you smile, how happy you are is more important.
So is it weird that personally I'm attracted to more curvy women with curves and hips, and thick is good. That's what I like. But on the other hand, I don't work out, and I feel like I should keep all my clothes on at all times because I'm horrible looking. I feel weird. I'm conflicted about that.
Well, let me add. I was going to add this is like Eros and I think Eros, you said it, is there's all shapes and sizes, but you got to remember there's people that like all shapes and sizes.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what you're saying, Ray, is somebody likes me. Okay. Thank you.
There's somebody out there for
I like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, look, I'm looking at you right now in the video feed.
Oh, sure.
All right. Which they're going to keep private, right? But they're not going to show us, right?
Yes.
And you guys would both do extremely well in any seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
totally.
That's the best compliment I've ever received.
And no, if you were there as a single male, you would do well. If you were there as part of a couple, you would do well.
For sure.
Because we will all have someone who looks at us and says, "Hey man, that'd be a lot of fun."
Mm-hmm.
Now that'd be a lot of fun because I've never been with, like for myself, a Mexican guy. Oh, I'd love to be with a guy. I'd never been with a Mexican guy. Let's just see if his penis is really an actual jalapeno.
Yeah.
I've always thought it's a pasilla pepper. Tonight I'll find out. More of a serrano, the small ones.
No.
But there is somebody for everybody in the lifestyle. And I keep thinking about the previous question.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to ultimate confidence and supreme communication.
Exactly.
So if that person can up their confidence and work it and accept it and make shine their best qualities, they're going to be accepted by the correct people in any playroom, and they will just gravitate towards each other, and it'll be a great time. And it all starts off with a nice conversation. And so in the lifestyle, there's what are called social swingers, which is the most fun ever, because now you can talk about things that you cannot discuss at your corporate job, and you're not obligated to play. You just have great conversations.
Yeah.
We have tons of friends that we don't play with, and they're hot, and some are not so hot. And we don't play with the hot ones or the not so hot ones. It's just, they're just friends.
Yeah.
Just like in vanilla life, right?
Exactly.
There's only a few people that you'd go camping with.
Oh, sure.
There's a few people that you do certain things with, go to a theme park with.
Yeah.
Some people you don't want to be, in a car with. Right?
Exactly.
So it's the same thing in the lifestyle, guys.
Okay. So that was probably the best of our questions. So as we go along here, they're going to get
it's going to go downhill from here.
Yeah. So I apologize again. I'm going to switch over to a couple voicemails here. And, if you cannot hear them, let me know. And I have a transcription. I can probably get it to you. But, so here's number one.
Where's all the cum go though? Other cum.
Where's all the cum go?
Everywhere.
You should wear some safety goggles in the playroom because you don't certainly want to get pink eye. It's just flying everywhere.
I think our listener here was just trying to say, you guys are practicing safe play, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Whenever we remember to wear condoms. No. So here's the deal. Where does the cum go? All right. So in the beginning, one of our biggest talks had to do with, okay, when he's ready to come, he is not allowed to come inside you, honey. You make sure you count down and you kind of look at his body and he pulls out.
You got to time it.
He pulls out and he comes outside your body.
Right.
In the condom, in his hand. And if he's going to come on your tummy, he better not drip, not even one, little dribble near your lips.
Exactly.
Right. And we had this entire conversation, and the same conversation had to do with kissing. How passionate can I be? Give a little bit of tongue, or can I do a really nice French kiss with this person? And so everyone has to discover their own boundaries and their comfort level. So it got to where it got to this level. So we're having sex. And if I'm with the chick, I'm doing my thing, and guys generally know when they're going to come. Mm-hmm. And so I'll have my, my final 60 critical strokes. And I know I'm getting there, and I'm starting to go long and hard. I'm at maybe by stroke number 40, I put my hand behind my head, kind of like a pornos, and then my other hand holding my lower back because it hurt. But it looks like I'm in a porno, and then I'm counting down, and then I get 10, and then I'm going down to 5. Then I'll
you're
pull
just like
out.
Ron Jeremy.
Oh yeah, and then
he counts down.
pull out the wiener. Condom is ripped off, mostly so that the other husband can see that it was still on till the very last moment, right? So sometimes it'll make a noise like "Pah!" Like a rubber band, right?
Yep.
So the husband will witness that. So I'm good. Everyone's good. Yeah. The woman also knows, okay, everything's good. Then I'll finalize it with maybe 4 jacks. Now I don't want to waste and do like 20 jacks because I have a beautiful woman there with a warm body. So I'll wait till like maybe the 4th pump. Mm-hmm. And then at the very last minute, condom is ripped off, maybe 3 or 4 jacks, and then boom. But beforehand, I would have asked the woman, can I come on your tummy? Do you want me to come on your tits? Right. Where do you prefer me to come?
Where do you want it?
Yeah, where do you want it? And then some women will say, right here on my tummy, right? Some women will say, right here on my pussy, right? Yeah. Some women will say, I want you to come on my tits. Some will say, I want you to come in my mouth. Some will say, come wherever you want. Mm-hmm. And some will say, hey, just come in the condom. So that's something we don't like to do because that condom could break.
Right.
So, which is why out of respect, I generally will, and then once I pull off the condom, I'll come where she told me to. So I'll do 8 to 12 squirts on her tummy. Mm-hmm. Wow. She'll start rubbing it around. I drink a lot of milk. Dude.
A lot of milk, a lot of celery. Is that what you do?
4% whole milk.
Yeah.
Just straight out the cow.
Right.
Jet fuel milk.
So yeah,
sweetie, anything to add on that?
Well, I mean, I'm the same way. I will ask the guy to come on my tits because
it's far away from the pussy.
It's far away from the pussy, and then I like to see it. I like to see it as it squirts out, but also it's a good way to make sure that we do condom checks when we're playing. So that initially that was one of the things.
Where it came from, yeah.
Is where
constant
it came from.
Condom checks.
Constant condom checks, and then if the guy pulls out and I see the condom come off, and then he comes on my body, then I know. Like we're cool.
Yeah, everything's cool.
But I do really like to see it squirt out on my tits. So
feels warm.
Yeah.
I've recently learned that there are women who enjoy seeing that, and that just I don't know. I'm 38 years old and I've lived a lot of life, and that's something that I'm just learning now that women like to see that. So it's awesome. Thank you for confirming that.
Yeah, give them what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's do another voicemail. Unless you have any more to add.
Oh, no. Please continue. We're good.
All right. I don't know how this one's going to go. Let's.
I had a question for the swingers. I was just wondering, are you guys worried about, what kind of mileage you're putting on that box per year? I'm really interested in hearing the episode.
What kind of mileage do you put on that box? I'm sorry.
Box being vagina.
Yeah. Well, we don't. Okay, so for us in particular, we don't get out all that often. And like we were talking about earlier, why are you guys still laughing?
I'm just picturing that you have an odometer on you somewhere, like that. You can just take a reading. You're like, oh yeah, well, I'm good. I need an oil change next week, but yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to commend the gentleman who asked that. I'll tell you why, because there is a phrase in the swinging lifestyle called a low mileage couple.
That's right.
And so it makes perfect sense. I understood it immediately.
Exactly.
Because it's just someone, you guys heard our 10% success rate earlier. That is, the way we factored that is because we're busy with family, career, businesses, and families first for us.
Sure.
And so if we have a chance to do something really cool with family, we'll do that. We won't go on a play date. Right. And so we consider ourselves a low mileage couple
for sure,
because we're not out there doing stuff every single weekend. We could, and there are swingers that do. There are swingers that play during the week, weekends. At the weekends, they'll do multiple partners in one evening.
Yeah.
And they'll go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so that's not us. And there are people, and there's nothing wrong with the way they live their lives. That's okay.
Right.
In terms of mileage, the body's very resilient.
Yeah.
I mean, my lady, from a medical perspective, and you don't be specific, but when you're working out your legs, what's the reason that you have to go so damn heavy on your legs when you're doing leg workouts? Because you're on your legs all day, man.
That's right.
And so in terms of our bodies being resilient, women will pop out babies. The thing that the tube will stretch out, to accommodate a 4-inch, 5-inch girth head of a child. Yeah. There'll be some ripping and some tearing. and not even during childbirth. When I have sex,
exactly.
That's one of my favorites. That's on our profile. I love the ripping and the tearing.
The ripping and the tearing.
It comes from a video of a nude resort in Hedonism in Jamaica.
Yes.
And you guys can look. I'll send you the link to the video. They interview this guy.
You'll love it.
And the guy says, "What do you like the most about being at Hedonism?" Yeah. And the guy goes, he looks like a corporate Wall Street type. He goes, wearing a Speedo. He goes, "I love the wild women, the ripping and the tearing, the ripping and the tearing." And then he starts dancing.
Wow. And he's an older cat. He's got like silver hair. Yeah. He does this awkward dance after. It's hilarious, but yes.
What do you want to add about the mileage on the box? Is that something you're worried about?
I'm not worried about it because, like we were saying, we're very selective. We play maybe 10% of the time. Or no, we actually feel inspired to get naked 10% of the time. And that 10% only ends up being about 1 or 2 couples that we actually end up playing with. So we don't play a lot. And I mean, I take care of my body. Hygiene and exercise and clean eating is very important to us.
Well, there was a porno that we seen, and we have to find the link to that one. Yeah, and the porno, there was a black dude telling a petite young white woman, and the guy goes, "Oh, baby, how you keep that pussy so tight? How you keep that pussy so tight?" And then what did the woman?
90 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
No, okay. Well, this is what she said. That's because I stay in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So I just soak in the bathtub every night.
You take a nice hot bath, everything shrinks back. And it's
that's amazing. I never thought of that.
A disinfectant as well because of hot water.
Right.
I better stay out of the bathtub then. We want that thing to stay big. All right. Next voicemail. This is a longer one. This is our last voicemail of the evening. So here we go.
Hello, Rem, Ray, and illustrious guests. This is me, Matt, host of Not for Human Consumption. NFHCpodcast.com, Patreon.com/NFHCpodcast.
Love it.
Curious topic tonight with your guests, like I get it, like they're doing the swinger deal and stuff, but like, is there ever an awkward moment? Hold on, I'm driving here. Is there ever like an awkward moment after, y'all split up, come back together, and then like, he's got snail tracks on his pants, like that aren't yours, and vice versa, like, there's gotta, load exists and it goes places, and if it gets on any clothing it dries, does that ever come up, like, or do you guys just stop off at like a laundromat on your way home, or? I'm just curious. I've always been kind of curious about that. But yeah. Looking forward to the question being answered, Have a good show, guys. NFHCpodcast.com.
Thanks, Matt, of the NFHC podcast, our buddies at Not for Human Consumption. So he's wondering about getting cum on your clothes, basically.
Yeah.
Well, we're usually pretty naked.
Yeah, it's right? Only really in the pornos where the guys keep their briefs on and then they peek the penis out of that little overlapping part of the brief, and they keep all their clothes on except the penis is sticking out.
Yeah.
Generally, it's clothes are off, and it's actually part of the seduction and flirting process that has to do with a little bit of the foreplay.
Yeah.
When we're all kind of standing around making drinks, and my lady generally will tell the other girl, or the other woman many times has told you,
she'll get it started.
So do you want to just start getting naked? And the lady will like take off one summer dress and she's nude.
Yeah,
underneath.
absolutely naked underneath. Yeah. And so oftentimes the other woman will get the party started. And then I'm like, okay, well, it's time to be naked. So I take my clothes off.
And then I don't want to be rude. So I ask the gentleman, I'm like, hey, do you want to match the ladies?
Exactly.
Sure. And then, some guys would like to keep their socks on, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
I used to keep my dress socks a little funky, colorful ones.
Yeah.
And I don't need that. So I just started, I take everything off. Right. And then I found out later why some guys like to keep their socks on, and their feet need some care.
They need a pedicure.
Yes.
Oh, that's gross. Oh yeah. Come on, you guys. It's too late for me to think about gross feet.
No, it doesn't happen often, but generally, to answer the question, the clothes are off, generally all the way off, right away, and they're off to the side of the room. Mm-hmm. People will pick their little corner or their chair. Okay, this is where I put my stuff,
right? And
that's it. I mean, I squirt pretty far, but I'm not going to aim it at the clothes.
No.
I could reach it.
Well, you do squirt far.
Well, I'll make the ceiling look like that 1970s.
Like a lava lamp?
No, like that ceiling that's, like this. What's it called?
Stalactite cave?
Yeah. I'm not going to aim it at the clothes, man. That'd be
putting Peter North to shame.
You're right.
Yeah. Eros, let me ask you, how long was it before you stopped like checking out another guy's junk to see where you compared or where he compared to you? Or do you still do it to this day? Because you do it, right?
Yeah, everybody does it. Everybody looks because everybody's curious. In terms of, do I compare myself in terms of, is he going to outperform me? Because we've seen enough large wieners to know that large wieners don't necessarily work most of the time.
Right.
A lot of blood flow required. And
sure.
And if these are guys that haven't really taken care of their bodies, they're going to have trouble with blood flow anyway. Circulation, right. And the dick's not really going to get super engorged in the spongy tissue like it should. But I'll take a quick glance, but it's not my concern. Just like it's none of my business. Where they got their haircut, how much cash they have in their wallet. None of that is my business. My business is his wife, and she's my main concern. I could give two shits about that guy or what he thinks of himself or what level of confidence he brings. I'm not there for him. I'm not there thinking about him. I devote maybe a couple seconds to the screening process is extensive, but once we're there and we're doing stuff and we've had a great conversation. Generally, you're not getting naked immediately. You're meeting for drinks. You're having a conversation. We're having general conversations. Hey, there's the wiener. Oh, that's fine. Here's mine. No problem. Go do your thing. I'm going to take your wife over here. And, we're kind of in close proximity, but the size is never a concern. I think once I had an issue because a guy had a wiener that was as large as a DirecTV remote control and was really thick.
You can't miss it.
Oh, it was, he could have played ping pong with it without a paddle. No, and hit the ball with his wiener. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Eros, I've never been out to that part of California, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it freaked me out a little bit. And that night I had my first taste of alpha male.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and threatening. I felt threatened a little bit.
Yeah.
This was at a swing club, and this was the first time that I ever felt a little bit threatened by the size of someone's wiener. He wasn't near me. He wasn't this, but we were in a situation where I was playing with his wife, and we weren't fucking or anything. We weren't doing anything yet. We were just kind of making out. And when he whipped this thing out to try to get it, to get it hard, and I saw the size of it and the way it was just kind of swinging in with the ambient light, I immediately thought, damn it. This his thing is very, very large. And for a moment, I got a little distracted. And then just all of the message units, and these are all the distractions, right?
Yes.
I got a little turned off because first of all, I wasn't really getting along with the wife. And when I saw the size of his wiener, I said, oh, hell no. Not only am I not getting along with his wife, and she's not ideal, and her pussy was not pristine.
It wasn't.
Which is one of my top 3 checklists. You got to be a confident person, smile, and you have to have optimal hygiene, right?
Yeah.
Her pussy smelled a little bit like Long John Silver restaurant at 6 p.m. on a Friday night. Yeah, after everyone got their paycheck.
Right.
Oh yeah. So I didn't enjoy the scent of the seafood delight, and then I figured if I continue on this route with his wife, she was okay, but I didn't like the smell.
Yeah.
Now he pulled out this ordnance, like this large piece of machinery. I immediately said, hell no, he's not putting that near my wife's vagina. And I grabbed my wife and I said, sweetie, I need a drink refill.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, great. I mean, she knows not to lag, not to question me.
Just go with it.
It's just like, okay. And immediately I grabbed her and we left the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then later they approached us. Hey, are you guys cool? One more drink and then we'll go back. And then we just found a way to say no.
Right.
Because of the big wiener and because his wife was not ideal.
And it wasn't, it just wasn't the right environment for us because people had come in the room because it wasn't like a private area. People had come in and were watching. So that threw us off big time. And
we had an audience.
And we realized we are not exhibitionists. Nope. That is not for us. We don't like being watched. Nope. I'm not sitting there watching every move my husband's making. He's not watching me. We don't have to police each other. We don't like a bunch of strangers' eyes on us, like we're performing for them. That night, there were about 8 people in the room, all kind of like, there was one guy, he could have been eating a piece of beef jerky. I don't know what he was doing, but he was had a big smile, and then his woman was in his lap, and there was just people all around us. Yeah. And one thing that I didn't like was that the man with the large wiener, that one dude, he was pushing to play. Yeah. Oh, well, we can just do a little something. So that was another turnoff. So it was just turn off upon turn off, or we just got out of there. But yeah, that big wiener syndrome thing, it's a real thing. That was the only time that I really paid much attention to it, but we got out of it. For the most part, guys, I think for anyone else considering, hey, my wiener, I measured it the other day, and I don't know that it's very, very big compared to the guys that I see at the gym. Am I going to do well in the lifestyle? Yes, you are, because a lot of women actually have told us they do not enjoy a very large penis. It's painful. A bigger wiener doesn't mean it's a better wiener.
I don't necessarily feel you guys should be attacking me on my own show, so let's cool it with that. And Eros, I wish I'm in the wrong part of the country. I wish we could hang out more because I really need some of that wisdom from you. Because I'm constantly reminding Ray how much bigger my penis is than his. So I need that confidence to back me up. Eros, do you know the proper way to measure a penis? By the way, yeah, in centimeters. So that you can spit out a larger number. I'm 10 centimeters, by the way. Adam Carolla's rule for this was you take a piece of yarn and you start one end at the anus, you wrap around the balls twice, and you go 2 inches past the tip of the dick. And that's your measurement. So, I love it. All right, Ray, why don't you ask the next question here?
Is that the one from Jason?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Jason A asks, do you have to wear shoes while swinging due to the copious amounts of loads that will inevitably fall out of boxes onto the floor?
Listen.
Oh my god.
They have fun listeners. You know that.
You guys are.
Well, they have
they
have a fun show, so they attract the same types of characters.
I love it.
Which it's our people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't see
rubberized flip flops,
right? Water shoes,
water shoes,
yeah, that would be good. Or the with the waders, you just walk around in waders, right? The tall boots that you wear if you're
like
fishing,
fly fishing,
yeah.
Well, with the amount of cum that apparently you release, Eros, you probably need some galoshes.
Look, I exaggerate when I say 8 to 12 squirts. I really mean like maybe 8 to 9, sometimes 10. Yeah, because you have to count. If you count every dribble, that's how I come up with that number. Like every little extra drip is what I'm counting, right? So that first one comes out with like maybe 3 or 4 clumps.
There's a lot of pressure behind that. Yeah,
tapioca. You know what I mean? It comes out, a projectile, and then it has its own weight, right? Oh, yeah. And so, do you have to wear shoes? No,
I would say
no shoes. No. And it's better that, if you are going to take off your shoes, make sure you clip them toenails, because my lady doesn't want to get her legs cut.
I don't want to get scratched.
Yeah, you can watch those yellow toenails too. That's gross, guys. It's really gross. And Eros, nice. Thank you for not hanging up right away. So our next question is from Mr. Nisbet. Question for your swingers on tomorrow's. They're not my swingers. They're everybody's swingers.
Yeah.
They're the universe. Yes. Do you ever consider the ramifications of another man emptying the entirety of his ball bag deep in your wife's throat as she kisses you goodnight? I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
Okay, well, you want to take that one? That was for you.
It is. Okay. I want to say that I don't share the same fantasy that a lot of cuckolds share. And that fantasy has to do with semen and eating semen out of wife's vagina.
Right.
So eating a cream pie that was created by another man.
Yeah.
They call it cleaning up, cleaning it up.
Yeah. A
lot of cucks that are denied sex, sometimes they're caged up and their balls and dick are in a little metal cage, right? They're denied by their woman, but they are allowed to eat a cream pie that was issued by another man.
Yep.
And that is
throw up.
It's a bonding moment for them. It's a huge bonding moment. Now, look, we've interviewed couples that are into that. We have friends that are into that. I'm not into that. I don't.
I'm not either.
Listen, in the very beginning, I was so freaked out by it that if my wife even put her mouth near another guy's penis or even maybe kind of lashed his penis tip slightly, I wouldn't French kiss her for the rest of the night.
Right.
I would just say, I'm not going to do it. Now that was just me and my, I just wasn't doing it. Now, I won't do that. Like if my wife is giving oral to another man, I won't do the whole puppy pile orgy type where I need to be with my wife. I want to kiss her. Right. I don't care where her mouth has been. We're not into that.
That's not our thing.
We prefer full swap, separate bed. Yeah. Same room is fine. But, separate bed, 4 grown adults in one king bed. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But people love that, though. People love, I want to be next to my wife. I want to go from your wife to my wife and kiss her. And then I want to go, and then I rip the condom off, do my wife a little bit, put another condom on and go back to the other wife. And it's just, and it's sweaty. And then you got, these American men are 6'2", with large feet. And they want to be in one little bed.
I know.
And these tall white girls, right?
It's uncomfortable.
And it's just uncomfortable, but some people love that. And they want to hold each other's hands. And a lot of times they're new swingers, which is why they need that safety blanket. They need to be in constant contact. And so the whole thing about eating cum, my lady does not allow cum in her body, whether it's her mouth or her vagina. So
I never ask a guy to come in my mouth.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen. And, will I kiss my wife at the end of the evening? Yeah, because we'll have what's called, reconnection sex, which is the coolest part of it all because you reclaim each other and you have sex again as a unit after having shared each other with other hotties. And it's just a really amazing way to finish up the evening and to make sure that we remind each other, although that was a moment of temporary bliss, you're my goddess. And,
you're my soulmate.
Right. And it's about us. They were an invited couple for a moment in time.
Temporary. Yeah.
You're the love of my life.
Yeah.
My interest is here.
Of course.
And we are in it for each other. We just fucked that couple.
Exactly.
And now they're gone.
Yeah.
We might see them again. But that's all it is. So hopefully maybe that even addresses a little bit of, well, do you fear that your wife is going to maybe fall in love with another man or want to leave you for another man? There's sometimes we'll hear that question.
Yeah.
And the answer is no. So it's in the same thread. So I thought I'd kind of throw it in there.
I was gonna say, oh, there it is. Okay. I lost the thought I had. All right, you degenerates. See, they have answers for all your goddamn questions. Fuckers, you think you're gonna throw my guests off and make them grossed out. All right. Ray, take the next one.
Why are the majority of swingers people that I wouldn't want to swing with? And that question comes from Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
Oh, that's a great question.
It is, yeah.
Well, I think we addressed this a little bit.
We covered it slightly
earlier.
Yeah.
It's okay. So majority of swingers are not people you want to play with. That's pretty tough in the beginning because a lot of people are new. They have very high standards and very high criteria that they're looking for the perfect playmate, the perfect ideal 10. And you soon realize you're not going to find that.
He's also the gentleman, Dylan. He's never been to our house parties.
Yeah. Oh,
so he hasn't seen the type of people that come to our parties.
Right.
He has an image in his head.
Yeah.
of who is a typical swinger. Now, this person might have a mullet in his head.
Yeah, right.
The woman might have, track marks on her arms, hanging out behind the Love's truck stop after having eaten the 2 for $5 hot dog special. Right?
Right.
He may have an image in his head.
True.
Which is the only reason why he would say, why is it that swingers are only people that I wouldn't want to swing with?
Right.
And my first response to someone in a workshop scenario would be, what makes you think any of those people would want to mess with you?
Right.
Boom.
And so that comes to the selection process.
Yes.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with Dylan as an individual. And I know he's probably being funny with it. Right?
Yeah.
There might be something wrong with him.
He's having fun with the question. But for all the serious people that are out there who are thinking, dude, I'm not fit enough. Or vice versa. Some of the hottest women that I've been with in the lifestyle are so screwed up self-esteem wise, are so affected mentally. They think they're fat. They think they're not attractive. And you look at them and I think to myself, dude, you're one of the top 10 hottest women that I've ever been with. And she'll think she's like the worst woman ever. So, sweetie, finish your thought.
Sure.
And what you were going to say about the standards being high and so forth, and kind of finish that up.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking that a lot of people have very, tons of criteria that they're looking for another person to fill all the check boxes. Like you have 100 things that you absolutely need in order for that person to qualify as a play partner for you. And then you'll soon realize there are differences between what you really need and what you want.
And you also have to consider the other person's criteria, values, and check boxes.
Right.
Because you may not be able to superimpose or even be in that scenario because they may not want what you offer.
Yes.
This is what makes it so difficult even as a single person.
Right.
And in the lifestyle as a couple, it's even more challenging because now you have to take into consideration, hey, I bring this, I'm so hot, but damn it, I'm not their type. Why? Because I'm all American. We live in the Midwest. They're in California. They want an Asian person. They want a Latino person.
Right.
They see my type every damn day.
Yeah.
Right. And you may be thinking, I'm an all-star white boy athlete, crew cut military. And those fucking guys are walking around all over their town.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
So they come over here. They're like, I want a big black cock, Yeah. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
So let me tell you guys about Dylan real quick. Okay. Dylan, you asshole. Dylan drove 40 miles to have sex with a midget a little person that he met on Tinder in a church parking lot. So that's, and then he drove 40 miles back home. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Our final. Oh, actually, these are two questions here. Our producer Ryan, he has sent a couple questions in, and okay. So, what happens when one party of the couple finishes with another person and the other hasn't?
Dude, this
happens.
This is amazing.
All the time.
Happens all the time.
Yep.
What typically is what happens, sweetie?
Okay. So what typically happens is the guy that I'm with finishes first. And in the meantime, my husband continues to pound away.
I'm going to pound now.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to do the Latin lover thing.
This chick.
Yeah.
And she's loving it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, my husband, I'm thinking, do your thing, babe. I'm not trying to stop my husband's fun.
Yeah, but to distract the man.
I have to distract the man because
poor thing.
Because if he finds himself, he's not busy anymore, then he's going to go over to their bed and want to get up on his wife and put his hands on places and be a part of it.
Support her. He likes to maybe watch the penetration.
Right. And then what happens is, well, like we said, we're not into an audience. Yeah. Even if it's one person, we prefer to have, to focus on our partner.
Yeah.
And so if the man starts coming over, it's going to be distracting for my husband, and it's going to take him even longer to finish.
I also run hot. So
yes,
if I'm doing my thing and I'm performing with his wife, and all of a sudden I have this other 200-pound guy with a hairy belly a foot from me.
Yeah.
While he holds his wife's hand,
right,
and kisses her and French kisses her, and then his knee periodically rubs on my leg, on my thigh while I'm, stroking and trying to avoid a cramp and because I'm trying to avoid touching him. So I kind of lean back a little bit. Yep. That's distracting to me.
It's physically uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't like it. I just, let's do this. Now it's not my fault you came in fucking 30 minutes.
Exactly. No,
you know what I mean? Or in 20 minutes or whatever. You need to work on your shit. Right. So here's what we have found for the person asking this. We found that in the lifestyle, there is a countdown clock, and you must get to work. You must get to the drilling. You must go to Pound Town as soon as possible.
Yeah.
There are a lot of men out there that love to do a lot of oral. They love to pretend they're seducing a woman. In their mind, they're maybe playing a movie. Oh, 50 Shades. Oh, she's, I'm doing this. I'm massaging her. Let me whip out my little oil and let me give her a massage. Meanwhile, the other guy's, he's fucked already and he came and this guy hasn't even started the penetration. And when this guy's wife is done or when the guy is done, the many times the play session is over.
Yeah.
So when I say there's always a countdown clock, that's to tell the people listening, when you're in the lifestyle, get to action right away. Do the Latin lover later, maybe on your third or fourth date. You do separate room and hey, we'll meet you guys in about 2 hours.
Right.
Then you can do your Latin lover extended session with your massage and all that. But in the beginning, you got to get to the action right away. We don't want to be robotic. There are couples that say, ooh, he's doing oral. I'm going to do oral. Ooh, he's starting to do doggy. Honey, let's try doggy. There are couples that are very mechanical that way.
Right.
We don't like to do that either. But if I see that the guy is already starting to pump, you better believe I'm going to start to pump pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
And I try to time it. If I see that the guy, he's like, oh, and he's like leaning back. And I say, okay, well, I better start with my critical strokes. I get all the fantasies in my head that I need. I, hold the woman real tight. I go into my, my deepest fantasies of, my top search terms, right? Barely legal, real estate agent, unwanted sneaky cream pies, I go into, I delve deep into the dirtiest porno scenes and then, I alter what she looks like if needed. And then I go ahead and ejaculate as soon as possible. But you really do have to time it somewhat so that everyone can have a little bit of fun.
Sure.
And a lot of people in the lifestyle actually don't ejaculate.
That's true.
And so that's one of the questions that we actually hit up a couple with when we're chatting with them.
Yeah.
Hey, is coming a big thing? Is it easy for you to come? Just in conversation, not like in a job interview, but because if you find out that it's very difficult for them to come, I'm not going to focus on trying to make a girl come.
Right.
If she's not in tune with her body and she's not willing to finger herself and she's not willing to do part of the work, half of the work,
sure.
I will not focus on it. I will focus on myself and the timing.
Yeah.
Especially if she told me, it's really tough for me to come, especially on like the first time, then that's a great opportunity. Now it's like, that's why I didn't do all that stuff.
Hook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And men too,
Likewise,
it's kind of nice to know if a man has a hard time. That way I'm not looking and trying to gauge the man and so forth.
Right. And then if on the rare occasion, my husband will finish before the other man does. I'll know if he cause some women will say, oh, he can go for hours and hours. And he's not fucking for hours. He's doing all kinds of stuff in between, or he'll lose his erection. Stupid shit.
Well, it's a shit.
Well, it is. And in the middle, go back and forth. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to play for 4 hours. I don't want you to, eat me out for 90 minutes.
Especially if they have the stubble and they don't know how to eat pussy and they're grinding their stubble on your tender vagina lips.
Right.
But so a lot of men will think to themselves, I am a supreme lover.
Right.
That can go for hours. And there are swingers that say, we love to play all night. Well, we'll say to them, well, maybe we'll do one session. We'll take a cigar break. Maybe we could play again. But, this whole hours for a bunch of hours, maybe a good hour session, hour and a half. I can deal with that, but not all night, dude. At 2 a.m., I want to go to bed, man.
Right,
I don't want to be sleep. Don't start talking to me about your strip poker and shit. You know what I mean? Especially after, you guys know, after you come, you got I feel like 2 pints of blood have just left my legs and I faint.
That's it.
It's like
Chill.
Pull out the AED and the CPAP if you want me back.
Yeah.
Don't.
So yeah, it's rare when people finish at the same time. So you just gotta figure something else. Somebody's got to keep busy.
Right. Okay.
Keep themselves occupied.
My lady will cut it off. She'll actually she'll touch the guy on the head and say, "Oh, honey, I am good.
I'm good," and
she'll stand up.
Yeah. I'll just get up. Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm totally satisfied. I'm done.
Yeah. Oh,
what I love about the two of you, besides the liquor and the guns and all the sex and the beautiful watch that you have on, is the extreme confidence you guys exhibit in everything, either just talking to us or in your sexual encounters with strangers almost, right? A lot of us, I think I could speak on behalf of most podcasters out there. It's like we're all fucked up in our head. We all have weird confidence issues. I know I do. So it's great talking to you guys and hear these stories and hear that, yeah, man, maybe I could be cool too one day. Finally, my last question here, and this one is also from producer Ryan, and I think you kind of touched on this earlier. So this might be a quick answer and maybe it won't be, but how often are you indulging in the lifestyle?
Sweetie?
Oh, yeah. So we may get out to either a lifestyle club or arrange a date with another couple, maybe once a month.
Yeah. That's about once a month.
Average. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, sometimes it's twice a month, but I'll tell you where that comes in. We have a few choice couples that are great friends of ours.
Yeah.
That we've played with several times. So it's much easier to say to them, hey guys, you guys want to do a sexy date on such and such date, and they'll arrange childcare, and so will we. And it's not like you're screening a new person,
right,
making sure that they're, not trying to, they're not on the lam from the FBI, right? Who are they? Yeah. These are trustworthy career people. We know them. We've played with them before.
They're solid couples.
And I'll give you an example. So if it is going to be maybe a twice a month thing, it'll have to be like with one of our favorite go-to couples now, where the last time we met this go-to couple, we met them at a hotel in Pasadena. And we got one hotel room, and so did they.
Yeah.
And we met in the lobby for drinks. Then we went to one of our rooms. They came up to our room for drinks. We had a little mini bar set up, and we've played with this couple 5-6 times already in the past.
Yeah,
that we've been over to their place. We have a nice history with them, and so this night was going to be a separate room night, right? So I took his hottie little wife to our room, and my wife went to his hotel room.
I took off with him
in the same property, at the Hilton. And they were, over there, and we looked at our watches and said, okay, honey, let's touch base in about an hour and a half. We'll message each other, see where we're at.
Right.
But let's plan on meeting in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how it went. We met up in about an hour and 45.
Sure.
We went to dinner, Cheesecake Factory in Glendale, right? Well, yeah, it was down the street.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. With a little lake.
Yes.
Yeah. And had a nice dinner. His wife was super affectionate, was holding my hand.
It was great.
Along the promenade, Barnes & Noble, and looking for dessert. And it was one of these just flirty dates.
It was a nice evening.
Yeah. So, and then we went back to the hotel room, and
we had round two.
And we had an extended meal, a big salad and a burrito.
It was there was a wait for a table, and then they were busy that night. So it was a nice evening. It didn't feel rushed or anything.
Right. And I was a little bit bloated, and so was she. So I was joking with her that if she's okay having chubby sex, we're gonna do it again, because we're both bloated sex.
Yeah.
So we went back to the hotel, did a round two.
Yeah.
And then we all just switched back and spent the night at the hotel. We didn't even see them in the morning. And, they took off, we took off, and we talked by text, and we're real friendly. But that's the kind of date we're talking about. A pre-qualified, wholesome couple that is just wonderful in every way.
Yeah.
And
that's our favorite.
It's a good 4-way connection. Then maybe twice a month. But if it's a new couple, we'll go out and maybe meet someone maybe once a month. So not often.
But that's better than what most couples, I think, are having with themselves these days. Yeah. You guys are fantastic. I'm so glad you came back on tonight. That's it for our questions. do you guys have to go, or do you want to hang out and end the show with us?
We're okay on time.
We have time.
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're here for you guys. You might have questions of your own. I mean, I know that the more we talk, the more libertine and open-minded you'll get. Listen, we believe that everyone has the swinger DNA potential within them.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has the potential to do this. Not everyone is ready to do this, but for that listener that you have that may be listening to the episode, that maybe is questioning their role and, is this something that I could bring up to my wife? Is this something that I could, talk to my husband about?
Right.
If you guys have any questions that you believe that they may have, we're happy to help them out, because the only other alternative is to have them come over to priorysociety.com and, take a listen to our different episodes. And we title them with very accurate titles of what that show is going to be about. So they can just scan the list and say, oh, today I'll go to episode 35. Oh, today I'll go to episode 7.
Right.
And, have a good time that way. But, we're good, guys. Shoot away with any other topic you talk about.
You have any trips planned to the East Coast anytime? We can hang out, get a couple drinks. That'd be fun. That'd be a good time. I know Ray is maybe a couple hours north of you, but Ray's wife is going to be ready and raring to go pretty soon, right, Ray?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Is it the 40 days? 38 days.
Oh, it's 38 days, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, put some Neosporin.
Yeah.
So we have a segment that we like to do every week, and I want to get this one in before this episode ends. So if you guys don't mind hanging out, I got 3 nominations for Dick of the Week, and maybe you guys can vote with us. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good.
Hey, can you? Oh,
it
let's
is
see, I
now
need a
time
second.
to introduce this week's finalists for Dick of the Week, and here's our first nominee.
You got to go, Ray.
Can you give me like 1 or 2 minutes, real fast?
Yeah. All right. So Eros and I says we do Dick of the Week, and we have some of our listeners send us in stories about people who are real assholes, and then we just vote on who we think is the worst. All right.
Okay.
So this one, the first one I have here, and I have 2 of them sent in from Hot Drummer News Babe, and this one is a 22-year-old man pushes a brand new BMW into a river because his parents didn't buy him a Jaguar. And this is reported by the Times of India. A father in northern India surprised his 22-year-old son with a brand new BMW for his birthday, but apparently it wasn't the luxury vehicle his son had hoped for. The 22-year-old man named Akash became so upset upon receiving the gift that he pushed the BMW into a river, the Times of India reported. According to a local authority, he wanted a Jaguar instead. Quote here is, Akash was demanding for a Jaguar car from his father, but when his father failed to buy one, he threw away his BMW in a fit of anger. All right. I want to be so lucky, right?
Oh, shit.
I saw your picture on Twitter driving back from Vegas. You guys it looks like you have a nice ride that's taking you to and from places.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not even a luxury vehicle, man. It's a hybrid Lincoln MKZ. It's brand new.
It's comfortable.
I'll tell you what we like about it. It has a 12-gallon gas tank. It fills up for super cheap, and it has a driving range because of the hybrid issue of about 430 miles on a 12-gallon tank. And because we drive quite a bit, coming from big trucks and V6s and, gas guzzlers, we're really liking that. So
I love it. The only issue with the hybrid is that the battery eats up some of the trunk space. So if somebody's considering a hybrid, that's, they're going to run into that. But otherwise, it's a great ride.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. Yeah.
Is that the Matthew McConaughey vehicle? Have you seen this? Matthew McConaughey? Yeah. I don't know what to think when I'm watching Matthew McConaughey drive
I know what to think when I'm watching Matthew McConaughey.
I mean, that's one thing, but I don't know. We buying cars or we buying life? I have no idea. All right. So our second story, I didn't read through these. I should have, but a man is charged with destroying a door tree. It says hatred for relative drove vandalism. Okay, this is by Jesse Leavenworth of Harvard Current. It's here in Connecticut. A man charged with hacking down the living landmark known as the Door Tree told police that virulent hatred for his brother drove the frenzied vandalism, and an arrest warrant affidavit released Tuesday says. I swear to God, I think I know that name. I'm not even kidding. 63 of New Haven. Listen, I might have to edit this part out, but I think I might have hired
Oh shit!
Did you actually?
Ruh-roh.
I think I might have.
Raggy.
Faces charges of third-degree criminal mischief and criminal trespass. He is free on a promise to appear in Superior Court in Meriden Thursday, saying he has suffered from mental illness for years. He confessed to cutting down the tree in late June. Holy shit. No, I really think I know this guy. Fuck. I should have read this. I wouldn't have put it on here. Okay. All right. So it's a guy who cut down a famous tree. And finally, and I know this is what you guys are looking for. I'm sorry. I have to skip past this one. We have an audio from our faithful listener, Svensson. All right. And he, let's see. What has he got here?
I'm so excited for this.
Hello, Rich Dickman Show. Svensson here with another nomination for Dick of the Week. This week, we have another bad driver I'm nominating. This time, the driver, fortunately, was not driving a black BMW. This time, the driver was a white BMW. So this is the situation that what happened. Driving down a 3-lane highway, there's full shoulders on either side of the highway. And traffic somehow, gets backed up. What was the issue? A guy in a white BMW had a flat tire in the far right lane of the highway. However, for some strange reason, he decided to take and try to fix his tire in the far right lane instead of pulling the car over 8 feet to the shoulder to fix his tire. Seriously? How dickish is that? So this winds up slowing all the other lanes down for a massive jam. I tell ya, how selfish is that? Anyway, that's my nomination for Dick of the Week. Rem, Ray, I hope you guys are doing well. Have a good week and take care.
Well, thank you, Spencer. Are you guys able to hear that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can hear
that's
it.
great.
Yeah, okay. All right. Ray, do you have any thoughts on that?
I have many thoughts. Well, the joys of wireless headphones is that I heard all of those, even though I had to step away for a minute. And I thought that maybe Svensson would have sent in that one about the 22-year-old man pushing his brand new BMW into the river just because it was a black BMW. But Svensson's audio, yes. So first of all, he said there was 4 shoulders on the freeway. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That threw me off. You're usually pretty descriptive, Svensson. I don't know what happened there, but
Svensson's in Ohio, and Ohio is weird. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the guy definitely could have got off the freeway. It's one of those, like, it's a common thing, man. It just sucks when people, for whatever reason, sit in the middle of the road when all you got to do is pull over. Your tire's already messed up. Just get off the side of the road.
All right. Eros, ISIS, or mostly Eros now. So I said to get up. Have any thoughts on these 3 nominations for Dick of the Week? Anybody you're leaning towards?
Yeah, I'm thinking the Dick of the Week, at least my vote, is the youngster that got pissed that he didn't get the correct car and ruined a brand new BMW, right? The first one. That's the first one. Okay. That's who I vote as should get the Dick of the Week.
All right. So let me play the bumper here and we'll come up with a winner.
After much deliberation, the incredibly handsome expert judges have come to the consensus that this week's Dick of the Week award goes to...
It's got to go to the guy who pushed the BMW into a river, right? I mean,
I agree.
So, yeah, sorry, Svensson, but this guy beats you.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's try Svensson's alley with the black BMW.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a black BMW, wasn't it? We got to find that one out. Okay. Anyways, Eros Nices, thank you so much for doing Dick of the Week with us, and thank you so much for giving us your time and coming on the show and answering a lot of these questions. Some of them were good, some of them were foolish, but appreciated nonetheless. Why don't you tell our listeners how we can find you and follow you and listen to you and all that fun stuff?
Oh, yeah. You can visit our website, priorysociety.com. That has everything about our show. We're on pretty much every podcast platform out there, right, babe?
Yeah, the homepage at priorysociety.com has direct links to the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and all the other places. So, yeah, that's the best place to look. And then on Instagram and Twitter, just search for Priory Society.
Yep.
We're very active on there. We hang out there. We both hang out there. So easy way to engage with us and ask questions or, be silly.
Give us a follow.
Yeah. Say hello
we post
if you
often.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good time. And aside from that, when you listen into the podcast, we consider the lifestyle to be a secret society that not a lot of people know about. People are you're sneaking off, doing naughty things. And it's the ultimate lifestyle to tap into your, deepest desires that you can conduct with the love of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And we always talk about creating rocking chair stories and stories that you can look back on and say, hey, honey, remember that couple we fucked in Vegas? That was fun, and it's about living with no regrets. And that's what our show's about. And if someone is curious, we invite them to come and give us a try. And we're happy to answer any questions as well via email, info@priorysociety.com. Any others?
No, we welcome you guys to come and check out our podcast for yourselves. If you're liking what you're hearing with these questions and you're curious about the lifestyle, we've got a lot more information for you.
No, my lady, she's the educated one, right? The whole master's degree, doctorates, like real soon. I'm the Mexican beaner type, and I speak Spanish sometimes, and I'm just she's the voice of reason on the show.
I'm the logical one.
So just be prepared for that. Come on over, we have a great time. And we give you bad advice, good advice, depending on where you are in life,
right?
And it's always going to be fun though.
We have a good time.
So
I wish you guys could have met Huel before he joined ISIS. All right. So your last episode was about steering wheel couples, and you gave a little teaser earlier about your next episode. What's your next episode about? Or do you know yet?
Four-way connection.
Yes.
It's all about, guys, just so the listeners have a quick idea. We have a background in neuro-linguistic programming, which is known as NLP, kind of like the Tony Robbins type thing. But it has to do with becoming the best version of yourself, and it's going to help you in your relationships, at work, and everywhere else. You do your best to operate in peak performance and to be a good person all around. And when we talk about the four-way connection, it has to do with, hey, you're now entering the swinging lifestyle. Now you have to deal with four attitudes, four people who all have different wants, needs, criteria, check boxes. And we talk about how to navigate that with tact, with skill, and so that you can end up naked at the end of the evening. So,
and if you are looking into the lifestyle, you might hear couples looking for a unicorn, and a unicorn would be a single female that they want to bring in for a threesome. So we've always said that, unicorns are really tough to find. Or people in the lifestyle will say unicorns are really hard to find. The single chick with no drama that knows her role and will stay in her lane.
Who is sane
and is not going to ask you, for an allowance every month and all kinds of stuff like that. Pay her cell phone bill, because we've been asked before.
We've had single chicks ask for an authorized signer on a credit card.
Right.
Yeah.
So the unicorn is mystical, magical creature that's so hard to find. And so couples will start out a lot of the time by looking for a single chick unicorn, but we've always said that the real unicorn in the lifestyle is the four-way connection between two couples, where everybody, you find that spark of chemistry. So we're doing an episode on that. And that's going to be a good one.
A lot of good stuff coming up. We had a unicorn in the studio, a feisty Latina who actually will educate our audience on, for those of you who are brand new, who are maybe looking to bring in a chick just for a unicorn, just to be for a threesome experience. She talks about the best ways to engage her.
Yes.
Because this girl gets hundreds of messages a day.
Yeah.
And so she's going to educate our listeners on, how to get her attention, how to act in person, and how to get her to voluntarily take her clothes off.
Right.
And actually want to be a steady play partner.
Exactly.
So we did interview a unicorn, and that's coming up as well. So a lot of good stuff in store for you guys, for our listeners, for your people who are curious and want to give us a try. We invite them, and of course we'll embrace them, and happy to chit chat with them and answer their questions as well.
Sure.
Fantastic. And next time we have you guys on, and I would love to have you guys on again because you guys are fantastic. I just want to talk horror stories, just horror stories, like paying for credit cards and all the awkward Ray, where are we following you at, Ray?
At Jules Winfeld on Twitter, twitch.tv/Jules Winfeld for if you want to watch me live stream some games and chat with people. That's where you follow me. But I do want to add this Priory Society crew. So one guy at work that I work with, I gave him the info to watch or to listen to our podcast. And as he was going through the whole library of the Rich Dickman Show, he ended up coming back to me and saying, "Hey, last time, he was like, when that Priory Society episode aired, and I listened to that one, he said that was his favorite episode. So you guys definitely got a new fan, at least from one guy that I've directly spoken with. So
very cool.
But yeah, I would encourage all the listeners. You know, you guys have an awesome podcast. The way you present it, the way you guys talk about everything, your guys' connection. It is a great podcast. It's definitely worth listening to. So if anybody hasn't listened to it, absolutely give it a shot.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Thanks for saying that, Ray. You're the best. Thank you all so much for listening to us tonight or tomorrow or today, morning, evening, night, whenever it is. Whenever it is you're listening to us, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for putting us in your ear holes. You can check us out on the web, richdickman.com, for all your Rich Dickman needs. Again, we are on Twitter at Rich Dickman Show. I am at Rem Dickman on Twitter, and I tried to set up an Instagram, you guys, because I want to get super professional and all that shit, but because my last name is Dickman, Instagram banned my account immediately. I assume that's why. I was banned twice, 2 different versions of Dickman, but whatever, that's okay. You can find us, as I said, on Twitter at Rich Dickman Show, and me at Rem Dickman. And what else do I get to, Ray? Oh yeah, call the Dickman line. If you have any thoughts or concerns or questions or whatever you got, 860-316-4776. Thank you to Matt and Dylan and Hot Drummer News Babe and producer Ryan and Jason A. and everybody else who sent in questions and voicemails tonight. Much appreciated. Made this episode a lot more lively. Priory Society, Eros and Isis, thank you guys so much for being so cool and not just getting up and hanging up and walking away when we were asking about where the cum goes. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being good sports. We love you guys. You guys are awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah, thank you.
I hope we can do this again. And that's it for tonight. So tune in next week. It'll be episode 69 and won't be nearly as sexy as this episode. Thanks for listening. Good night.
See you.
Oh, you guys are rad. I appreciate it. I'm
curious about your Instagram. Do you think it had anything to do with you wanting to upload an actual penis just as your ABI?
Maybe. It is a logo I'm trying to work now. It's like my massive penis with my face on it. I'm just trying to show everybody.
Did you succeed, or do you want you might just go with RD podcast?
I think I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to make a new one. I need a new email though. That's the problem. They banned the emails that I associated with them, so I have to get a new email, and I have to do probably TRDS official or some bullshit like that.
Well, the problem with this show is branding. We need to figure out branding, because the reality is like Rem, we were talking about this, was the last episode or the episode before. So we're under the family podcast section, but this is one where like our
parenting
podcast.
Advice.
Yeah. Like you get on this podcast, you get parenting advice and porn reviews.